3 years old with absolutely no type of resolve whatsoever.
Uncertainty and anguish, words Alexis Ware's mother used in a letter describing her emotions the last few years.
We know that some of our local municipalities do not have the resources to conduct a thorough investigation, and we believe that SLED would have the ability to do so.
Along with Alexis Ware's sister, community activist Bruce Wilson presented Greenville legislators the Alexis Ware Act. The proposed legislation would allow families of missing persons to request SLED takeover cases which remain unsolved after 12 months. Along with the act, Wilson included a letter from SLED responding to Ware's mother's request for their assistance.
And one thing they say is that we cannot do anything because we have to be invited in. And that's been the problem. They haven't been invited in.
In a statement from June, the Anderson County Sheriff's Office told us their detectives are immensely invested in Ware's case. It went on to say SLED and other agencies are aware of elements of the case.
They understand that it takes time, they understand the resources, they get all of that. But what they are completely upset with and didn't understand is that when it came to receiving meaningful communication with the investigator or the individual that's over that case, it was lacking. It wasn't there.
Ware's family is hopeful if a legislator sponsors the bill, it could help bring them and other families one step closer to answers.
The impact of Alexis's disappearance is not limited to our family alone. Her children are suffering immensely, grappling with the absence of their mother and the unanswered questions that hunt us all.
Kennedy Harris, Fox Carolina
Alexis Ware was a young woman who stood out wherever she went. Born and raised in Anderson County, South Carolina, she grew up surrounded by family and friends who supported her dreams. She was known for her bright smile, her love for fashion, and her strong interest in beauty and hairstyling. People who knew her said she had a calm presence, but carried a lot of determination inside her. She worked hard as a hairstylist and also built a name for herself on social media. She often posted videos showing her beauty work, hairstyles, and clothing ideas. Her online following began to grow quickly, and she became known in her area as someone with both talent and ambition. Alexis wanted to expand her business and hoped to one day become a full-time beauty influencer with her own brand. Outside of work, Alexis was a devoted mother. She had 2 young children, a boy and a girl, who meant everything to her. She shared photos of them often and spent much of her time making sure they were happy and cared for. Her family said she always put her kids first and wanted to build a stable future for them. Every plan she made for her business and her life included her children at the center. Alexis had plans to move to Atlanta, Georgia, where she believed she could grow her beauty business and reach a larger audience. She saw Atlanta as a place full of opportunity, a place where she could create a better life for herself and her kids. Her family supported this idea and encouraged her to follow her goals. It was a step she was excited to take and had already begun preparing for. In the weeks before her disappearance, Alexis spent more time with her family. She visited her mother often and seemed to be thinking deeply about her next move. She talked about changes she wanted to make and how she hoped to improve her life. Her relatives said she looked focused and serious about her future. She was working to balance motherhood, business, and her personal growth all at once. She was also known for being generous to others. Alexis often helped friends with hair appointments, makeup, or advice about social media. She was supportive of others who wanted to build their own success stories. Those around her describe her as confident, kind, and full of ideas that could have turned into something big. Alexis Ware's story began like that of many young women who wanted more out of life. Simple dreams, big goals, and a desire to do better. She was building her path step by step, creating her own name both online and in her community. Her life was moving forward in many ways, and she had every reason to believe that her next chapter will be brighter than the one before. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment below. Where are you tuning in from? What are your thoughts as this story unfolds? Your voice matters. These are real people, real tragedies, and real lessons we can't ignore. Share this video with someone you care about. It could make all the difference. Welcome to Unseen Crime Dossiers, your home for spine-chilling cases, haunting before mysteries, and deep dives into the world of crime. From jaw-dropping real-life events to groundbreaking forensic discoveries, we're here to uncover the truth behind the most gripping investigations. Step inside, examine the evidence, and lose yourself in the shadows of true crime. Sunday, January 30th, 2022, began like any other day for Alexis Ware. The weather was calm, and the roads around Anderson County were busy with weekend traffic. Alexis spent time with her children and prepared to meet their father later that evening. She left home in her red Honda sedan, unaware that this drive would become the last confirmed part of her story. Later that evening, Alexis met the father of her children at a 7-Eleven gas station on Highway 29 North. The meeting was short. She handed over her children to him, spoke briefly, and then got back into her car. Surveillance footage showed her driving away from the gas station at high speed. After that moment, there were no more confirmed sightings of Alexis anywhere. Hours later, calls to her phone began to go unanswered. Family members tried to reach her, but could not. Her social media activity stopped completely. By the next morning, concerns started to grow as Alexis had not returned home or contacted anyone. What had been a normal Sunday had quickly turned into the beginning of a search that would last for years. 2 days after her disappearance, authorities located Alexis's red Honda sedan near the border between South Carolina and Georgia. The vehicle was found on a quiet road, empty and locked. There was no visible damage to the car, no sign of struggle, and no trace of Alexis nearby. Investigators began checking nearby areas, hoping to find a clue that would lead to her. The Anderson County Sheriff's Office took control of the investigation. Officers conducted searches through wooded areas, rivers, and back roads. They gathered information from traffic cameras and checked her last known phone locations. Even with these efforts, no strong evidence was found to explain what had happened after she left the gas station that night. Family and friends began organizing searches of their own, posting flyers and spreading awareness online. Alexis's image and story started to circulate across social media platforms. Her disappearance gained attention from local news stations and community groups. As time passed, state investigators and the FBI were notified, but the case remained primarily under control of local law enforcement. By the end of that week, Alexis was officially listed as a missing person. Her car was secured by authorities. Her phone remained inactive, and her family continued to wait for any update. The calm beginning of that Sunday had turned into silence that no one could explain. The day she disappeared marked the start of a mystery that will remain unsolved for years to come. After Alexis was reported missing, law enforcement began an organized search that spread across several areas. Investigators retraced her last known movements from the gas station and collected surveillance footage from nearby businesses. They spoke to witnesses who saw her car that evening and followed every lead that came in. The goal was to understand where Alexis went after she drove away that night. Officers searched the back roads near the Georgia border, using drones, helicopters, and K-9 units. Volunteers joined the efforts, walking through fields and wooded paths in hopes of finding signs of her. The search continued for days, covering both rural and city areas around Anderson County and nearby towns. Despite the scale of the operation, no clear clue appeared to explain her sudden disappearance. Investigators reviewed Alexis's phone records to trace her final movements. Her last signal was detected near McCormick County, not far from where her car was later found. That information led authorities to expand the search zone, checking rivers, abandoned buildings, and nearby highways. Teams spent hours searching through rough terrain, but nothing directly connected to Alexis was recovered. Law enforcement also looked into her personal life. They gathered information about her friends, family, and online activity. Officers questioned people who had seen her days before she went missing. They reviewed her messages and social media posts, hoping to find something that might show her plans or concerns. Every detail was examined carefully, but no strong lead emerged. As days turned into weeks, the investigation slowed down. Police continued to follow tips that came through phone calls and social media messages, but many of them led nowhere. Alexis's case remained active, but progress was limited. Her family stayed in close contact with detectives, providing new details whenever possible, hoping that even the smallest piece of information could bring her home. The community also became deeply involved. Candlelight vigils were organized, and awareness events were held to keep her name visible. Flyers were placed in stores, gas stations, and neighborhoods across the state. Her story continued to spread online, bringing attention from true crime pages and independent investigators. Everyone involved hoped that the attention would help uncover new evidence. Despite these ongoing efforts, months passed without major breakthroughs. Alexis's car remained one of the few solid pieces of evidence, but offered no answers. The investigation stayed open, handled carefully by law enforcement as they searched for any possible sign of her. Each passing day added to the mystery, leaving her family and community waiting for clarity that never came. After Alexis Ware's disappearance, her family refused to stay silent. They immediately began organizing their own search efforts, driving across towns and visiting areas where she was last seen. They spoke to people who might have seen her car or anything unusual that night. Every day became another chance to find a clue that could lead them to her. Her mother became the main voice of the family's fight for answers. She reached out to media outlets, law enforcement, and online platforms to keep her daughter's name alive. She shared updates on social media, describing the search process and asking for any helpful information. Her determination helped bring more awareness to the case and encouraged others to join in the search. Family members printed missing person posters and distributed them across South Carolina and neighboring states. They walked through neighborhoods, gas stations, and stores handing out flyers. Local businesses allowed them to display signs and windows. The image of Alexis's face became familiar to many residents who followed the case as it continued to spread. The case began drawing attention from local news stations, and soon, online communities started covering it. Social media users began sharing posts about Alexis, creating hashtags and videos to keep her story visible. True crime pages started discussing her disappearance, examining every piece of public information that had been released. People who had never met her joined in spreading awareness. The attention created both support and challenges for her family. While many showed kindness and offered help, others shared rumors and theories that caused confusion. Despite this, her loved ones stayed focused on the mission to find her. They kept their search public, using every available tool to make sure her name stayed in front of as many people as possible. Community members continued to gather for vigils and prayer meetings. They lit candles, held up her picture, and stood together to show unity and support. The gathering served as a reminder that Alexis was more than a missing person report. She was a mother, a daughter, and a friend whose absence affected many lives. These public moments helped maintain pressure for the case to remain active. Even as time passed, her family continued to hold on to hope. They worked with search groups, private investigators, and anyone willing to assist. Their efforts turned into a long-term mission to uncover the truth. The public's reaction remained strong, with people continuing to share her story, making sure Alexis Ware's name was never forgotten. After weeks of investigation, law enforcement considered several possibilities for Alexis Ware's disappearance. They examined the location she was last seen, her daily routines, and her personal relationships. Officers reviewed traffic camera footage, phone records, and online activity, but each lead required more verification before it could be confirmed. Some investigators looked into the circumstances surrounding the red Honda sedan. Its location near the Georgia border suggested a long drive from her home, but there were no signs of damage or struggle. The vehicle itself became a critical piece of evidence, providing the only clue about her movements after leaving the 7-Eleven. Authorities also analyzed her social media activity and messages leading up to the day she disappeared. They noted unusual interactions and strange phone calls that seemed out of character for her. Every post and comment was examined to determine if they could reveal a threat or a reason for her sudden absence. Law enforcement investigated potential connections in her personal life. They spoke with friends, family members, and acquaintances to establish routines and confirm her last known plans. These interviews helped build a timeline of her movements, but they did not produce concrete leads pointing to her current whereabouts. Several scenarios were considered by authorities. Each theory, from voluntary disappearance to potential foul play, was treated seriously. Investigators followed each line of inquiry, weighing evidence and excluding possibilities that did not match verified information. The case required careful attention due to the lack of physical evidence beyond the car. Experts also reviewed similar missing persons cases to compare patterns. They examined behavioral, geographic, and temporal factors, looking for similarities that might suggest a direction for further investigation. These comparisons were documented and added to Alexis Ware's case files to maintain thorough records for law enforcement. Despite all efforts, the case remained unresolved. Months passed with little progress, and Alexis Ware continued to be listed as missing. Her family and authorities kept the search active, updating files, tracking tips, and maintaining public awareness. The combination of careful documentation and community support ensured the investigation continued, even as definitive answers remained out of reach. Years have passed since Alexis Ware disappeared, yet the search for her continues. Local law enforcement maintains her cases active, reviewing any new tips that come in. Investigators periodically revisit evidence, check locations, and update case files to ensure nothing is overlooked. Her family continues to advocate for her. They have organized events, shared her story widely on social media, and worked with volunteer search groups. These efforts have kept public attention on her disappearance and encouraged communities to remain alert to any developments. Authorities occasionally re-examine her vehicle for new forensic evidence. Technological advances in investigations, such as improved video analysis and digital data recovery, provide new opportunities to gather information from previously examined sources. These steps are intended to uncover leads that might have been missed in earlier searches. Community organizations have assisted in maintaining awareness of her case. Flyers and online posts continue to circulate, ensuring that Alexis Ware's name is not forgotten. Local news coverage revisits the story from time to time, keeping her disappearance in the public eye and reinforcing the need for continued vigilance. The South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, SLED, and federal agencies have been informed of the case, even though local police retain primary control. This collaboration allows additional resources to be consulted when needed, including specialized investigative teams and analytical support for digital evidence. Family members have also pursued legislative efforts to improve the handling of long-term missing persons cases. Their advocacy contributed to proposals like the Alexis Ware Missing Persons Act, designed to allow state intervention when cases remain unsolved for extended periods. These efforts aim to prevent similar delays in future investigations. Despite the passage of time, Alexis Ware's status remains unchanged. She is officially listed as missing, with no confirmed sightings or contact. Law enforcement and her family continue their coordinated efforts, combining traditional searches with public engagement. Her case remains a central focus in the community, ensuring that the search and investigation continue until answers are found. Here at Unseen Crime Dossiers, we're driven by a mission to uncover hidden realities, honor forgotten voices, and keep their memories alive. If this story made you pause, reflect, or feel something, there's more coming that will challenge you even deeper. Make sure to hit subscribe, tap the like button, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a case. We're dropping new episodes regularly, and trust us, what's ahead is even more chilling. Before you go, we want to hear from you. What moment hit you the hardest? Drop it in the comments. Your perspective matters, and your voice helps keep these stories alive. Until next time, stay alert, stay informed, and never stop seeking the truth, because every life deserves to be heard. Thanks you all for watching.